Good afternoon. I'm Rafael Cardi, CEO and co-founder of Callida Energy. We offer a software energy optimization solution for commercial buildings. Have you ever walked into your office and had to do this to basically be comfortable in the summer? There's tremendous waste, and we're attacking that problem. The Department of Energy estimates 30% of energy is simply wasted in commercial buildings. That's a $58 billion cost impact, 340 million metric tons of unnecessary carbon pollution each year, and we're not comfortable. We're doing three things. First, we're focused on taking occupant data and, like Nest, turning off conditioning to unused or empty spaces. Second, we're using machine learning to create facility models to find the optimal control strategies for air handling units and for chillers. Third, we're watching the air handling units to find those going outside of the intended schedule to turn them off. Let's see how it works. She's using the Callida app to basically look at where she's in the office. That provides occupancy models and real-time updates. Then Callida's working with the BMS and energy metering to get energy usage, office temperature, other data to build models and forecast the optimal chiller and air handling unit strategies, and those are fed right back into the BMS. Next. We're differentiated from companies that focus only on predictive control or only on occupancy-based reductions to do both for maximum impact, and we're balancing the needs of occupants and property management. Next, at a 1.4 million, whoops, our value, I think we just skipped ahead, sorry. Right, at a 1.4 million square foot office building in Houston, we achieved year-over-year reductions of 12% whole building, 28% HVAC energy with weather normalized data using our strategy of HVAC changes, demonstrating our value proposition. High impact, low touch, improved occupant comfort, reduce carbon emissions, and the opportunity for commercial real estate to increase net operating income and asset value. Next. As we see the market growing to $6.8 billion, Callida's gaining beachheads with strategic pilots like the City of New York and Pennzoil Place to demonstrate our added value as we grow toward the mainstream commercial real estate market, and we're forming channel partnerships as well. We project strong revenue growth over a 5-year period using a traditional SaaS business model based on scale of the facility. We see by the 5th year, 50% of our revenue coming from international and total revenues representing 0.6% of the global opportunity. Our team, myself, 20 years of industry software leadership experience, starting at HP and 2 enterprise software companies. Tim with 30 years of energy engineering experience, starting with Con Ed. With the results we've achieved, we're now beginning a seed raise, and there's a customer quote on the right, to basically raise resources to increase our number of engineers, to build out the product further, acquire channel partners and customers, and continue our patent work. Please join with us in reducing the 340 million metric tons of unnecessary carbon pollution each year. Thank you.
Questions?
Just could you talk a little bit about your channel to market and how you said you work with building management systems. Do you have some partnerships there, or are you only focused on those buildings that have BMS?
Right, there's two questions. I'll answer the last one first. We're basically going into buildings with a BMS today. So we're mostly going into buildings at 50,000 square feet or greater. Over 100,000 square feet, they almost all have BMS as a very relatively modern building. Doesn't preclude us from going lower in the market later, but now data acquisition from the BMS, and then control strategies to go back. Second, in terms of channel partners, we're focusing on 3 areas. We're doing direct sales now to get our pilots, both paid and unpaid. Our next step is really to focus with 3 key types of channel partners. First are consultants, some of the large consultants we've already had some meetings with, also utilities for demand-side management programs, and also building technology vendors. The BMS vendors can also be partners, as well as an interface for the data. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
This is becoming a crowded field. So how do you differentiate your product from your competitors, and what would be a cost advantage, or how do you market?
It's a great question. First off, we're not doing some things. We're not doing the continuous commissioning and virtual audits like a retroefficiency or first fuel. We're not just another dashboard, although we do provide visualization. We're not doing a BMS. We're providing a new control strategy, partnering there. So there's a lot of things in the space that we're not doing. We look at what we're doing, some of the vendors I mentioned earlier. We're not just doing predictive control. We're adding occupancy base for increased engagement and balancing the needs. I'll give you an example. We found with the pilot site that we were doing a predictive control strategy which could produce significant savings, but the air handlers were running at 90% and occupancy was down to 74. So you can be saving with one hand and losing with the other. We believe we can ride both trains together, predictive control and occupancy control, and get stronger benefits and add monitoring of AHUs to see the ones that are deviating from strategy and bring those back into compliance as well. Does that give you a sense?
Yes, thank you.
So just building on that one, how are you going to, how much would it cost an average building of this square footage to retrofit the types of sensors and control units that you're talking about on top of the building management systems they already have in place?
Okay, that's a really good question. We are a no CapEx solution. So basically the sensor network that's already in place and is already under the control of the BMS is what we're using as the data acquisition platform. Yes, we might find opportunities to increase measurement, find gaps, but we can start with the data that's in the building points list already being gathered by the BMS, so there's no hardware. The only hardware we would bring in is a simple gateway just to connect into the network. In other cases, we haven't even had to do that with one large site. So it's no CapEx, it's really software as a service coming in through the browser, and there's really no hardware. There is some implementation fee because there is real work, to basically fit into their environment, connect to legacy systems, understand their building points list, but it's not a hardware thing to overcome.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear for Raphael.
Thank you very much.